Good day, students. I'm Anne Montaño and my partner Keanna Alcera, which will be joining us later, will be presenting an interesting lesson today. First is about adverbial phrases. What is an adverbial phrase? How to use it? And how does it work in a sentence? And the different types of adverbial phrases. Are you ready? Of course you are. Let's do this. Let us now understand what is an adverb phrase, also known as the adverbial phrase. An adverb is a word that modifies a verb, an adjective, and another adverb. A phrase is a group of two or more words that express a single idea but do not form a complete sentence. Example, a handsome guy, the tall building, and in the car. Now, an adverbial phrase or adverb phrase is a group of words that functions as an adverb. So, like an adverb, the adverbial phrase also modifies a verb, an adjective, or another adverb. It shows how, when, why, or to what extent, and where an action takes place. For example, Jack will sit in silence. The adverbial phrase here is the in silence because it modifies the word sit, and it gives us information how will Jack sit. Jack will sit in silence. An adverbial phrase is a group of words without having the subject-verb combination that works as an adverb in a sentence. Example, we will escape in the morning. In the morning is the adverb phrase here in the sentence because it gives us information when will they escape. They will escape in the morning. We will escape in the morning. Second example, we will escape later. Later is the adverb, and this is a normal adverb because it doesn't give further information when will they escape, unlike the first example. Third example, we will escape when the sun rises. The phrase when the sun rises is not an adverbial phrase. It's an adverbial clause because it contains a subject, which is the sun, and a verb, rises. Let's come now to the types of adverbial phrases. Here are the most common types. First we have is the adverb phrase of place. It states where the action happens. For example, I used to work in a fire hydrant factory. You couldn't park anywhere near the place. So the adverb phrase here, or the adverbial phrase, is near the place because it states where the person in the sentence couldn't park. Second example, opera is when a guy gets stabbed in the back and instead of bleeding, he sings. In the back is the adverbial phrase because again, it states where the action takes place. Where was the guy in the opera stabbed? He was stabbed in the back. Next type is we have the adverb phrase of time. It states when does the action happen. Example, I'll do it in a minute. So, in a minute is the adverb phrase giving us information about when will the person in the sentence will do something. I'll do it in a minute. Next example, after the game, the king and pawn go into the same box. So, the adverbial phrase here is the after the game because it gives us information about when will the king and pawn go into the same box. And when the adverbial phrase is at the front of the sentence, we call it the fronted adverbials. Third type is the adverb phrase of manner. It states how an action or something is done. For example, he would always talk with a nationalistic tone. With a nationalistic tone is the adverbial phrase because it gives information about the manner of the person in the sentence. How does he talk? He would always talk with a nationalistic tone. Another example, he sings in a lower register. So, in a lower register is the adverb phrase again because it states how he sings in a lower register. Next type is the adverbial phrase of reason. It states why an action takes place or why something is done. For example, he plays to impress his classmates. To impress his classmates is the adverbial phrase because it gives information about the word plays. Why does he play? To impress his classmates. Another example, we tell ourselves stories in order to live. The adverb phrase here is in order to live because it states why do they tell stories to themselves in order to live. Now that you've learned about adverbial phrases, let's do a recap. What is an adverb phrase? Adverb phrase is a group of words that functions as an adverb. It answers to questions how, where, when, and why, or to what extent. For example, Jack teaches English. Now, if I want to tell you how Jack teaches English, I'll say, Jack teaches English amazingly well. So, amazingly well is the adverb phrase here because it gives us information. How does Jack teaches English? He teaches amazingly well. And if I wanted to give information about the place of the action where Jack teaches, I'll say, Jack teaches English at his place. At his place is the adverb phrase because it gives information about where will Jack teaches at his place. Also, if I wanted to talk about the time when does Jack teaches English using an adverb phrase, I'll say Jack teaches English in the evening. In the evening is the adverb phrase because it gives information about when will Jack teach English. Jack teaches English in the evening. And if I wanted to talk about the reason why Jack teaches English, let's take a look at the example. Jack teaches English to help his students. So the adverbial phrase here is to help his students because it gives us information or the reason why Jack teaches English. Jack teaches English to help his students. And if the adverbial phrase is at the front of your sentence, we call it the fronted adverbials. Fronted adverbials are offset with a comma. So now that you've learned about adverbial phrases, let's have Keanna, Izzrah, Alcera to talk about prepositional phrases.
Hello everyone, I am Keanna, Izzrah, Alcera, and I am a second-year BS Ed English major student. So for today, I will walk you through prepositional phrase. But before that, let's start with the basics. Today, I'll be discussing to you about 1. What is a prepositional phrase? 2. Prepositional phrase used as adjectives. And 3. Prepositional phrase used as adverbs. But before all of that, let me first define to you what a preposition is. So a preposition is a word or group of words that are used to relate a noun or pronoun to other word parts in a sentence. And the most famously used prepositions are from, in, with, and many more. And how about a phrase? A phrase is a group of words without a subject and a verb, and it is also used as one part of speech. An example for this is in the bar. So what is a prepositional phrase? A prepositional phrase consists of a preposition, its object, and the modifier of the object. Like for the previous example, in the bar, in is the preposition, the is the modifier of the object, and bar as the noun or the object. So the formula for a prepositional phrase is 1. Preposition, which is or are words used to link nouns or pronouns to other word parts in a sentence, plus the object, which is a noun or pronoun after the preposition, and then finally, the modifier, which describes or modifies the object. Remember though that not all prepositional phrase has to have a modifier, much like this example, at school. At is the preposition, while school is the object. See that there are no modifiers modifying school, which is the object. But then, in the next two examples, it is completely equipped with all the factors used in making prepositional phrase. First is the preposition, object, and then the modifier, in which Before and from are the prepositions. The and my as the modifier of the object, and the objects are game and mom. So as you can see, prepositional phrases can have all the three factors together, but may also omit the modifier for the pronoun or the object. In making prepositional phrases, the prepositions to be used must complement the sentence, its thoughts, and also its formation. So here are the examples of frequently used prepositions. At, for, from, by, and etc. are the most used prepositions by students, or basically by everyone. And on the other hand, there are some prepositions that are more than one word. For example, along with, in spite of, and with the exception of, and many more. Next is that preposition and prepositional phrases have various usage, like telling the direction, the time, the place, and other informations in a sentence. An example for time is by noon and since July. And for the place in prepositions or prepositional phrases are my house and in the desk. While for the direction, like my sister and in a car. And finally, for other uses, examples are against everyone and due to sickness. And now that we have covered prepositions and what is a prepositional phrase, let us then proceed to adjective and adverb prepositional phrases. When prepositional phrases are used as adjectives, it describes a noun or pronoun, and the phrase comes immediately after the noun or pronoun it modifies. Like for example, the sentence, my check for the dress is in the mall. This is a complete sentence with a prepositional phrase, and that phrase is for the dress. For as the preposition, the as the modifier, and dress as the object of the preposition. And this is an example of adjective prepositional phrase for the reasons that it describes the noun check. And then the same is true with the two other examples. The prepositional phrase describes the noun in the sentence, like how in the grocery pertains to the noun mother, and of the toys pertains to the pronoun some. Have you noticed that the prepositional phrase always comes after the noun or pronoun it modifies? Remember too that adjective prepositional phrase describes noun or pronouns, and it answers the question whose, which one, what kind of, and how many. Then we finally come to adverb prepositional phrase. Adverb prepositional phrase describes a verb, an adjective, and adverb. When prepositional phrases are used as adverbs, they may be found in any parts of the sentence. So, unlike adjective prepositional phrase, it does not immediately follow the noun, pronoun that it describes or modifies. An example for this is the girl ran on the pavement. The prepositional phrase here is on the pavement, and it describes the verb ran. Hence, it is an adverb prepositional phrase for reasons that the prepositional phrase describes the verb ran. Another example for an adverb prepositional phrase for verb is we ate before classes, where before classes describes the adverb ate. And remember, before classes is a prepositional phrase. And another for the adjective is that she is tough for a child. Tough is an adjective, and it is described by for a child, which is a prepositional phrase, hence again making it an adverb prepositional phrase. And finally, Carter ran hard for his life. Hard is an adverb which is described by for his life, which is a prepositional phrase, hence again making it an adverb prepositional phrase. Remember that an adverb prepositional phrase describes a verb, an adjective, and adverb. So remember 2, that adverb prepositional phrase tells how, when, where, or under what condition about a verb, adjective, or adverb is happening. And that is all for today. Thank you.